was my wife and I's first date. The waiter just set the drinks down. They'd been on the table maybe 30 seconds. I was kind of eyeing her, she's eyeing me, getting that first date vibe feeling. How am I going to play this? And then she asked me one question. Why did your marriage fail? She said she was 36 that year, divorced herself, and no longer interested in the general BS that's dates 1 through dates whenever people decide to start getting real. And I was like, okay, why did your marriage fail? She asked again. As this tugging in my chest, while I was deciding which way to play this, was like, this one side was, this is very exciting, it's very new, this is definitely different than anything I've ever experienced, yet the other side, the scared side, was very used to playing a game and being this fake version of myself and perhaps not being honest and then being honest in 3 or 4 years and then just breaking up. See, at the time I was 35. I was about 10 minutes into my second divorce. My son was 12. He lived 5,000 miles away. I was working a job that I hated. I was sleeping on my friend's couch, and my only possessions were a motorcycle, a couple duffel bags full of stuff, and a deep depression. And this deep depression including a plan of how I could take my own life. You see, I was hiding this shame that I wasn't enough, this feeling of lack and low self-worth, where I was constantly competing in my relationships. And not the kind of competition that drove me to be the best version of myself, the kind of competing and keeping tabs that kept me just better than the other person. This laundry list of past failed relationships where everyone felt the same and I claimed no fault of my own. Keeping my service self polished just enough to remain appealing, yet a mess morally and spiritually. This feeling, my brain operating as if I lived in a cave where I was cold and hungry, knowing all the time that food and firewood is right outside, yet so scared of the wolves lurking there as well. The fear of starving if I stay, and the fear of being eaten alive if I leave, always keeping one foot in both places. Maybe this sounds familiar somewhere in your life. Maybe your work or your relationship is at its end, yet you've worked too hard or sacrificed too much to just walk away. Maybe this job you're at, maybe you don't believe you're good enough to do anything else. Or the relationship you're with, this person you've been with, maybe you feel that they're exactly who you deserve. You see, for me, the more I kept one foot in both places, the more I didn't commit, the more I felt like I was wearing a mask, and the more I felt like I was dying inside. So what is it for you that's keeping you from jumping in with both feet? Fear, doubt, is the lies you're telling yourself? What do you think you're going to lose? Money, stability, or maybe you believe you're going to burn a bridge that you don't even want to cross. What is it that's keeping you in the shallow end of the pool with your floaties on? Floating around in your illusion of comfort and safety, every day a tourist to the high-rise diving platform of your dreams. You see them in your Instagram feeds, they're on your desktop backgrounds. You see them when you close your eyes at night. Unless maybe your dreams are of you sinking deeper into that water. So why did your marriage fail? This question like a precipice. The truth? I wasn't a very good husband. I didn't support her. I had expectations of her that I never intended to match. I was angry and depressed. I was jealous of her pursuit of her dreams and too much of a coward to pursue mine. You see, that was the biggest thing. For years, I was a leader inside of an institution whose values didn't match my own, accomplishing mission after mission merely because I was told to, never because I truly believed in it. Executing orders based on the desires of others. Never truly valuing who I wanted to be, always playing a character in a life that I didn't want to live. Why did your marriage fail? You see, this question started a discussion about who I truly wanted to be. It was also a discussion about who she wanted to be. This conversation about us both as individuals as well as in a relationship Communication that was no longer one way. Communication that traveled in a circle from me to her and all of the other places where we wanted to test out the things that we wanted to be, do, and have. And we never knew what we were going to dig up, and we never knew what we were going to find, and we never knew how the other person's going to react when we shared, yet we knew for sure what it would be like if we continued to hide. Conversation all based on love. So let's imagine this for a moment. Imagine leaving here today and telling someone the truth. Imagine telling them something that you don't want them to know. Imagine telling them this thing and being okay with you no matter how they react. Imagine telling them again, and then after them, sharing with someone else. Telling your story over and over, sharing it again and again until it is only that, a story. And then imagine becoming an author of a life where you're free to write whatever story you want. And then perhaps most importantly, encouraging others to share as well. Asking people about their lives, about their pasts, about their stories, and caring enough to actually listen. Not to respond, not to fix, but to be with. We all have stuff. We all hide in a certain way. Today, be the one who goes home, opens your closet door, and turns on the light. Stop pretending you're the only one with skeletons. Why did your marriage fail? This question asked me on December 28th, 2013. This question where someone else dared to be a leader, and I was brave enough to follow. So this is the truth. I have lied, cheated, and stolen. I've been verbally abusive, I've been violent, I've been sexually inappropriate. I've made all the mistakes. I've been divorced twice. And then one day, with this conversation, I allowed myself to learn. I learned that all of my experiences have had a direct role in guiding me to this very point. Each one perfectly placed, yet not a single event defining who I am. Every event, every experience, worth whatever I choose it to be. Nothing more and nothing less. And in this life of learning, I've never been so proud to call myself a man, a husband, and a father. And this is the life that I'm inviting you to live. Thank you.